We're tired. I'm drinking coffee. Well, I can't leave that in the video.
Why not?
It's inappropriate. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Foster the Meeple, a channel all about
board games
and
things we do wrong.
Yeah, there was a lot. There's definitely a lot. This is another episode of Board Games and Brew, and these are not our Board Games and Brew typical mugs, but they're in the dishwasher. Just kidding, they're in the sink. I wish they were in a dishwasher. This is my second coffee in the past hour and a half.
Don't put it on a coaster.
Fine.
Someone commented about Jamie never putting it on a coaster, and she doesn't.
That's what I say to that. Who needs a coaster?
This table does.
This table is one big coaster. We are here today to do a bit of a discussion type video, but I also have some game examples. And what I wanted to chat about today were games that we have played wrong.
A lot of them.
Now, there's a few things I want to say. Number one, Jeff and I play games wrong often.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, we don't do it on purpose. Number three, we both have short attention spans, and so we read the rules sometimes, and things just blow right out of our brains, and they're just gone. 4, we don't care. And 5, we realize that mistakes are going to happen, and we'll just fix them the next game.
Yep.
And so we wanted to chat about it because I feel like there's some people who are like, I could never play a game wrong. I'd be so mad if I played a game wrong. Or you might watch a playthrough and point out how people are playing a game wrong.
That's cool. You do you.
You do you.
You do you, boo-boo.
But just know that not everybody
But we are not those
cares.
people. We are not those people.
No, so I thought it'd be fun to talk about a couple times that we got the game wrong. Let's just get started. There's one example there's quite a few examples that really stood out to me, but the first one that came to mind is kind of a recent one, and that is Brass Birmingham. Brass Birmingham, for anybody who doesn't know, is a decently heavy game. The rule book is, in my opinion, not the best. So I read through the rule book, I watched a video, and I read through the rule book again. And then Jeff and I played. And the game was going by really, really quickly. And I was like, I don't know why people talk about how this game's so heavy, so hard.
Let's keep in mind the entire time I was like, something feels wrong here.
You know that you've done something wrong usually when you're like, something doesn't feel right.
I was like, this game doesn't feel right now.
And there's something that you need to know about both Jeff and I, especially me. I'm incredibly stubborn. And Jeff would be like, this doesn't feel right. And I'll be like, Jeff, this is just the way the game is. You just gonna have to deal with it because this is the way the game is.
That's a common theme you'll find here.
And then we'll look through the rule book and then we can't find something even though it's in there. And eventually I was like, fine, let me look through the rule book. And then come to find out that we were playing it wrong pretty significantly.
I'm not going to get into the specifics of why or how it was happening, but ultimately we're just doing the round structure incorrectly. So we're playing rounds way too quickly. Like in Brass Birmingham, you have to basically go through the entire deck before you move to the train era. We were doing it after
I thought
every time we played cards.
I thought that you just had to get through the cards in your hand. Yeah. So you start out with your own personal little deck. I was like, oh, we just have to get through our little deck. And the game was going so quickly. I was like, oh, we're moving into the canal era. And Jeff was like, what?
No, train era. It's canal then train era.
It is?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. Whichever one was first. Yeah. Where I'm like, we're getting into the new era. And Jeff's like, this feels really fast to me.
I was like, this feels wrong.
And I was like, it isn't, Jeff. We've gone through our deck. And then we looked it up, and it was wrong.
We did reset the game and
we
completely
reset the game, which we don't always do.
No.
Depending on whether or not
it's impacted things.
Yeah.
If we've both played it wrong the whole time, and it's not that was game breaking.
Yeah.
But it's not game breaking. It maybe just is a difference between a few points or whatever. We're just like, whatever.
Yeah. So long as we consistently played it wrong in that game, we will kind of continue, or we will at that point be like, okay, well, let's do it right moving forward, but let's just not care about the previous.
Yeah.
And that was not one of those situations.
No, that one we reset.
Yeah. It was bad. That's an instance of me reading the rule book, and it's just because
there's plenty of those, Jamie.
It's just that sometimes rule books matter so much, and when it's really dense and kind of dry, Martin Wallace tends to have very dense and dry rule books.
Mm-hmm.
I find them really, really difficult to pay attention to.
Yeah.
And I even watched Rodney's video and I was still like...
For brass?
It's just a lot.
You also, too, tend to, like, when you're watching a video, you're doing something else.
Yeah, it's bad.
Like, last night we were watching a TV show, and she's like, oh, well, this must have happened. I was like, yeah, it literally just happened while you were on your phone.
Haha, happens to the best of us.
I'm not saying I don't do that, because I also do that, so I get it.
Yeah. Short attention spans. The next example is a game that we played last night, and it was a very similar situation, and that is Horrified American Monsters. Once again, but this was kind of the opposite. We were going through it too slow. If you get through an entire stack of monster cards, then the game ends if you don't kill off the monsters in Horrified. What you're supposed to do is one person takes a turn, then the monster takes a turn, then the other takes a turn, and then the monster. We were doing like, I took a turn, Jeff took a turn, the monster took a turn. I took a turn, Jeff took a turn, the monster took a turn. So we did that wrong. Now this is
We caught it pretty quick.
We caught it pretty quickly, and the reason that we caught it is because a monster card came up that literally floored us. We were like, what does this mean? We Googled it.
It said, give what was the token?
Give this
player X thing.
An omen token or whatever.
We were like, what?
What does that mean? And so we Googled it. We looked on BGG. We searched. We Googled multiple things. Jeff's like, maybe if I type in the card. Maybe if I type in the monster. Maybe if I type in the exact
couldn't find anything because it was like
anywhere.
It was literally just us
playing it wrong.
It's like no one would ever ask that question because
what a stupid question.
It was a stupid question to ask.
And we ended up asking Kyle and Max.
Yeah.
And they were like, wait, are you not pulling a monster on everybody's turn? And that's how we figured it out.
And it's funny because we've played regular Horrified multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just been so long that we hadn't remembered. But anyway, yeah.
Well, yeah, plus I literally just watched a video about it. And
that's a weird one to miss. That's a pretty key...
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was an instance of me being like, I've played this before. I'll just skim through this video and we'll know how to play. And we sat down for the teach and I was literally like, all right, Jeff, it's the same as old Horrified. Let's just jump in.
Yeah.
Whoops. Now, this one is one of my favorites. My favorite experiences of us playing a game wrong because it still makes me laugh, the fact that we did this. And that is Dune Imperium.
I don't remember.
We played Dune Imperium for hours. That time that Jason came over for that board game weekend.
I remember playing it. I don't remember what we did wrong.
So there's certain cards or there's something that you're supposed to take out of the deck. And then whatever the timing mechanism is, we didn't remove anything from the game. And so it just kept going and it kept going and it kept going and it kept going. And we got to a point while we were playing where we were like, I wasn't expecting this to be such a long game.
It was too long of a game for what it was.
It was too long. I'll definitely agree with you there.
I didn't think it was that long. I thought an hour.
There's probably some user issues there too, but...
Well, what threw me off is that, first of all, why is blue and yellow? And yellow and blue.
We had played for 2+ hours.
I don't remember this.
Really?
Nope.
This is the most memorable one for me. And then we joked about it forever. It's like, oh, let's play Dune Imperium again for 3 hours. That's what happened. So we essentially just forgot to take cards out of the deck or whatever. And we ended up playing a game that is maybe supposed to take an hour for 2.5 to 3 hours. We played this on a board game weekend, and I'll link the video below where you can see us at the end. We were all like, I wasn't expecting that game to take so long. And then in a wrap up, after we had realized, we were like, oh, we're idiots. We have to play this game again. And the next time we played it, the game went like that. I can't believe you don't remember that.
Nope.
Well, apparently memorable for me, but not so much for Jeffrey.
Nope, don't remember that one.
This next one is just a me thing because it is something that I felt like I was a genius for beating this solo game. And then I found out that I played it
Final
wrong.
Girl.
And that's Final Girl.
Yeah.
So I was so excited. Final Girl, I love this game. I got it out on the table. I was playing. I was winning. And I won my first game of Final Girl. And I couldn't believe, I was like, oh my God.
Everyone she told was like, what?
So I talked to Rodney right after and said, oh, I won my first game. And he's like, oh, wow. That's really impressive. This is a really hard game to beat. I can't believe you beat it on your first try. Which then immediately made me go.
Not challenging her.
No. Just wow, that's really impressive. And I was literally like, I was like, there's no way that I'm more impressive than other people playing this game. And so in Final Girl, you take your turn as the final girl, and then the killer takes a turn, and then like a terror action happens. So I was doing the terror action, but I was completely skipping the automatic turn that during the killer phase. So usually the killers will move and kill, and I was completely skipping that. So it was as if the killer was only doing the horror phase and not the killer phase. So I'm like, oh, this is easy. This guy doesn't even like move most of the time. Like,
he's just standing there.
He
what
just
a dummy.
stands there because if the terror card doesn't make him move, then he just stays where he is. Anyways, I feel like I did that wrong, and there was probably something else. But that was like one instance where I felt like, oh, I did it. I'm so proud. Like, I can't believe I did this, and just what a mess.
Yep.
Yeah. I have one more, and then I have 2 honorable mentions.
Okay.
The next one is Honey Buzz.
Yeah.
So Honey Buzz is a game that like I was so excited for. And we went to go and play it with Billy and Michelle, and it may have been taught a little bit wrong.
Yeah, we can't remember.
Well, whatever it was, we were all playing it wrong. Basically in Honey Buzz, once you end your turn, you reset, and then you start again. Well, everybody else can reset at different times, but we would do it so that you would stop your turn, reset, and then you'd have to wait for everybody else to reset, and then you could go again. And basically what that means is that the turn order never changes. So if you're third in line, you have a severe disadvantage for taking some of the actions. And so each time that we played this game, because we played it twice, I was third. And I was like, I can't do anything. I can't get more bees because you guys are always getting more bee babies. I can't do this because you guys are already there. So I had to just keep collecting money from the bee banker or whatever. And I was like, this game just doesn't feel fair. And then we played it with my brothers and taught it to them wrong. And they were like, this game is kind of stupid, right? They're like, it doesn't seem fair. And I was like, I know, but like, I really want to like this game. And then we looked at the rule book, because the problem was we were taught the game without ever reading the rule book.
So we made the assumption that we were playing it
and
correctly.
So we taught it as we had learned it without ever reading the rule book. What I feel bad when that happens, because sometimes it can like, for my brother, Jason, as an example, he doesn't want to play that game again because he had such a bad experience because we taught it to him wrong. I hate when that happens. And then our 2 honorable mentions, I'm just going to say it, Monopoly. I don't know that I've ever played Monopoly correctly.
I don't know the actual rules.
I don't know the rules to Monopoly.
Everyone plays it differently.
But there are rules.
Like, I remember as a kid, we always used to play that all the money went to the middle, all the tax money went to the middle and stuff. And then if you landed on the free space, you got to take everything in the middle. I don't know if that's an actual rule or
I don't know either. And then another one that I just wanted to shout out, and this is kind of like just a general term for BGA, but dungeon pets. So sometimes what happens on BGA is we're like, oh, sure, let's do this game. I do it all the time. I sign up for games I don't know, and I just learn the game as I play. We did that with Dungeon Pets, and I would not recommend doing that.
What does the Board Game Barrage team call that?
Clunding?
Clunding?
Yeah, you just clund through a game or something.
Which is like you don't read the rules, you just
click
play
around and hope for the best.
Don't do that with Dungeon Pets.
Don't do that with Dungeon Pets. Jeff and I, the whole game, we were like, what is going on?
I still have no idea what was going on.
I feel like that game has some more complex rules. Like, you can do that with like a light game pretty easily on BGA. Yeah. Don't recommend doing it.
All I remember from Dungeon Pets was it was basically like I would click on to get a pet, and then I'd go to put it in the pen, and it would just be gone. It was just disappeared. And I was like, where did the thing go? I scored like, I think maybe 1 victory point. I have no idea how I got it. Like,
that happens all the time on BGA.
That game was so bizarre to play on BGA with no context. Like, again, no rule book read, no nothing. I still don't get it. Yeah. Like, you would think at some level you would get kind of like how it worked, but not that one.
Not that one. But the point is, it's okay to make mistakes.
Yeah.
It's okay to play games wrong.
Listen, if you're the type that cares about that and that's how you want to do it, fair enough. But in my opinion, it's a game. You're the only 2 at the table. We're the only 4. And if no one cares, then why care? Just play the game. Have fun. It's the experience. Like,
yeah, and games are complicated.
And again, like,
and mistakes are gonna happen.
I don't know. The Brass Birmingham one, that needs to be fixed.
That was a big one.
But like, if it's like a little small like scoring thing, and like everyone's been making the same error the whole game,
just take a mental note. Change it next time.
Yeah. just play it right next time.
Yeah, I just don't think you should beat yourself up for playing games wrong because, like I said, sometimes they're complicated. Mistakes are going to happen. We're only human. And then I just want to say, just to share a little kindness with those who do playthroughs and make mistakes. It's okay to point things out, but just know that we're all human.
If we do a playthrough or we're just playing a game, you know, our unmatched game, and if you comment and say, hey, you did this thing wrong and this thing wrong,
we appreciate the
we
feedback.
thank you for telling us.
But it's fine.
But it's
fine. Or if we do a dumb strategy, that's also fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought it would be a good topic because I've heard a few people like talking about playing games wrong lately, and we just do it all the time. So I wanted to share those stories with you so that you could also relate with us. And I'd love to know down below, is there a game that you have played so wrong?
I'm sure there's some people that are going to be like, you guys are silly. Why would you do this?
You're
Play
silly.
Play the game right.
No.
There's rules for a reason.
Never.
I guarantee you there's going to be comments. There's rules for a reason. Blah, blah, blah.
Rules
Guarantee
are made
it.
to be broken.
Calling it right now.
Rules are made to be broken. And that is what I have to say about that. But yeah, I'd love to know what games you've played wrong. Like if there's one funny story that kind of stands out to you. Because like I said, some of these, and I can't believe you don't remember the Dune Imperium. I'm going to show you this right after. Because we made jokes about that for literally
Jamie,
months.
You know my memory.
This is why we get rules wrong.
Was it over 2 years ago?
No! It was last year.
Well.
Not even, probably.
Listen, I got about a 6-month window.
Yikes. That is all that we have for you today. If you are interested in buying board games like any of the many that we play wrong, you should first start by checking your friendly local gaming store. And for us, that is...
Boardroom Game Cafe.
Yes, it is. We don't have our mugs. Sorry.
Not even going to grab one.
Not even going to grab it. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see,
please subscribe.
We hope to see you again soon. And now we say goodbye. Goodbye.
Later days. I thought I did, but no, I don't
Really?
I don't recall that. No.
I almost want to show you the video. Anyways,